Hello, I'm David Poole. I'm Angie's business coach, and I'm here to help you get the best out of the presentation. So what I'm going to do for you right now is create 3 videos, and I'm going to squish them all together. Now, it's a little bit cold today here in France, hence me having my jacket on. Maybe I could have done it inside, but hey, what the hell. A little bit of fresh air from time to time, it certainly helps me. Whew, it's a little bit chilly. So I'm going to do 3 videos for you. This video is I'm going to share with you how you can make $500,000 a year. Actually, I'm going to do it at $250,000 a year, but you'll see how to work 500. Okay? So that's what this video is about. The next video, and it's all crammed into one, I'm going to be talking about Angie's very, very special offer. It's extremely exciting. None of you have seen it yet, and it's a chance to be a panelist on her new daily show that she's going to put together. And the third thing is all the juicy stuff on how to get the presentation done and right. Now, any technical stuff for the presentation, in terms of how do I go live, go and speak to Angie. Not my thing. I'm here to make you feel good and hopefully give you a fantastic time. So, I said to you a minute ago how to make $500,000 or $250,000. So here goes. Are you ready? You might want a pen and paper. In the world of coaching, there is a lot of BS. Sadly, there is. There are people trying to sell you their products, and there's no problem with that. There's come and buy my website, come and buy my funnel. You need a group program, come and follow my system, buy my system, blah blah blah. You need a branding coach, you need a speech coach, you need to go and stand on stage and get paid and all that sort of stuff. Quite honestly, it's bullshit. No disrespect to those people. It really is. Now, once you've started making money, then go and explore those. But it's not to start off with. You really, really don't want to go doing that. Now, you might be thinking, how do I go and create a group like Angie's? Now, Angie's got 27,000 people in here, but she's taken 4 years to make it. And it's a quality group, as you've been able to see. What can you do today? Now, first of all, you don't even need to worry about niche, you don't need to worry about avatar, and you don't need to worry about making an offer. You really, really don't. I know that goes against popular convention and what have you not, but people are being fed that because they are not coaches. They really, really aren't coaches. These are people trying to sell you products and services. Because a coach would never look for a niche, would never look for an avatar, and they would never look to make an offer because you don't need that. Why? Because you're a coach. And coaches ask great questions. The thing that you need to be able to do is to go out there and ask great questions. That's it. So, I know that you work in the field of divorce, and that's cool, and I'm not going to ask you to change. So, here's the thing. I'm going to overlay this. I'm not going to go through granular, okay? It's a bit of an overview. What you need is 250 conversations throughout the year. You might be thinking, oh my lord, 250 conversations throughout the year, that's a huge amount. Well, if you think about it, it's only one a day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every day of the week. That's it. For 50 weeks, I'll give you 2 weeks off. 250 conversations. And out of those 250 conversations, you are going to convert 25 people. When I say convert, they are going to buy from you. You don't need to sell to them. You don't need to do any objection handling. They are going to buy from you. And as long as your journey goes on and you keep on doing the right thing, more people will come to you in a shorter space of time. I know this because that's what me and my clients do quite successfully. Anyway, moving on. What we do is we go out and start to have conversations with people, and you don't need to do it online. You don't need to do any sort of online mastery. You don't even need to do social media. I mean, if you look at it, how many people are getting divorced in your country? Somewhere between 50 and 70%. It happens. So even in your phone, you've got people who are going through divorce or have gone through divorce, and all their contacts know people as well. So you could just start off there. There are many other areas as well. But what we do is we have discovery calls. Now I'm going to show you a little trick on the discovery call. Trick number 1 is don't make your discovery call an hour. Your discovery call might be 3 hours. It could be an hour today, an hour next week, and an hour the day after. It doesn't matter. You need to let go of the objective. Do not try and sell. Do not try and sell. That's the bottom line. The next thing to remember is do not project your thoughts and feelings on anybody else. You're a coach. You are not trying to be a magician and project a new image on people. You do not do that ever, ever, ever. Because as soon as you start projecting, then you are not being a good coach. And I will bring your feet to the fire on that one. So you do not worry about what they can afford. Ever. Well, I can't afford that, so they can't afford that. No, nonsense. In fact, you do not have a right, and I am quite severe on this, you can see. You do not have a right to guess what they can afford. You never, ever, ever have that right. Who are you and I to judge what other people can afford and want to buy into? Never. And I'm very serious on that. And if you don't like it, tough. That's the way I am, and that's the way it is. Coaching first. Right. I'm going to share with you in a minute how you can make this $250,000, and you might be thinking, wow, not everybody can afford that, and I do get that. But once you start making this money, if you want to go and be benevolent and go and help a load of people that can't, who don't have that cash, great. But you need to look after yourself first. You cannot look after other people first before you're looking after yourself. You have to look after yourself, and that means a really, really good income. And I've met lots of coaches. I go, oh, David, I want to go out there. I want to serve. I want to give back. That is bullshit. This is your life. It is here for you. I am not asking you to be selfish. Far from it. I don't want you to be selfish. But you cannot help other people until you have helped yourself. Don't believe me? Go and look in the Bible. And go and look in any other religious text. It's all there. But there's a thing in coaching. Oh, who do you serve? And it's like, I just don't get it. It's not about serving other people yet. You have to look after yourself first. So please listen to this very carefully. The mission in your business is to have 250 conversations a year. 25 of those people will pay you $10,000. Okay? Now, that's $10,000 each. That's your $250,000. Go and have your discovery call. Listen to them. Ask them questions. Don't talk about yourself. They're not here for you. And you're not here for you either yet. You are not there to give them advice. Unless that is what you want to do and not get the deal. And sometimes I've been giving people advice. Why? Because I'm not after a deal. I don't want a deal. Here you go. Here's a bunch of advice. I've asked them some questions. I've mentored them, coached them, or whatever not. And they've said, what are your prices? And I've said, I'm not interested in that. Just go and help yourself. Because sometimes that's what you want to do. But you can only do that when you're in a position to be able to do it because you've looked after yourself first. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes you'll do that as well. So please, when you're going to have a discovery call, don't think, oh, I've got an hour's discovery call and then I've got to wrap them up and try and sell to them. No, there should be no objections either. Go in there and say, look, we've got an hour. Let's just talk. Let me just find out about your issues. And it might take a second discovery call and a third discovery call. They are going to come to you with problem X. Hey, Sarah, or hey, Angie, hey, David, this is my problem. As a coach, you need to know what the underlying causes are. So you need to ask questions to find out what makes up the real problem. I'm sad after my divorce, right? I feel like that I can't date. I feel worthless after my divorce. Okay. So we ask them questions. We understand the real makeup of their business. Not of their business, of their life. We find out where they've been, what they've been going through, what they're going through now, and where they want to be in the future. Looking at the big question, and then finding out all the micro issues underneath it. That might take you, as I said, 2 or 3 discovery calls. And that's fine. Now, if they don't want to turn up after discovery call 2 and they go, oh, I just want to know your price, they're not for you. They're really, really not for you because they're looking for a solution. Solutions don't exist here. Why? Because they've had this problem for what? I'm guaranteed at least 2 years. Could be 20 years. These things, even a problem for 2 years doesn't get fixed in a week. Doesn't. It's going to take at least 6 months, and you know that because you've been through it. So when you are actually pitching your services, you really ought to be going in and say, look, this is $10,000. It's going to take 6 months. It's going to be an hour a week. Plus I'll do some WhatsApp time with you or some Facebook Messenger time or whatever you want. And if you think about it, 6 months for 10,000, that is not a lot of money, especially with a little few WhatsApp stuff and things like that. Can you get 25 clients? They'll pay you 10K. I know full well if you manage yourself, create yourself 250 conversations where you're having these discovery calls in the way that I prescribed it. And when it comes down to delivering the price of your services, you can say, look, it's 10,000. it's going to be for 6 months. This is how I'm going to deliver my service. Oh, and by the way, this is your big problem, X, but we need to actually go through A, B, C, D, E, F, and G to fix the problem of X. And they go, yeah, I do. And that's why they know it's a 6-month problem. Sorry, I keep looking down there because my picture's down there. I need to look up here. That's why they understand it's a 6-month problem. It might even be longer than that. If you're selling services within the relationships and divorce profession, there's anything less than 6 months, you're doing them a disservice and you're doing yourself a disservice, because they have created patterns and routines and beliefs in their life, right? And that does not take a few weeks to fix. And if you'll say, oh yeah, we'll give this a go for a month and see what it's like, then you're not doing them a service and you're not doing yourself a service. Hold tight. 10k, 6 months. If you want to go more than 10k, 12, 15, 20k, fine, knock yourself out. The client might come back to you and say, look, I really want your services, Angie, but I can't put out 10k. Okay. How about you do 2k a month for 6 months? Brilliant. You're going to make 12 grand rather than 10. Well, instead of 10, you're making a little bit more, but they're paying you monthly, so you deserve to get a higher rate. Give them that. If they can't afford you, don't drop your prices. That's okay if they can't afford you, because you've got these 250 conversations lined up, right, throughout the year. That's what we're looking for. And like I said, you might be thinking, yeah, but David, I want to be able to help all women. I get you. I hear you. Go and earn your cash, and then go and work locally. Go down to the local church. Go down to the local community centre. Put some posters up. Hey, I'm the divorce coach. I'm the relationship magician. And go and meet there once every Thursday morning or something like that. Go and have tea and coffee with them. Go and sit down around a round table. Go and do that for free. Once you've got these people in. And this is how to build a business. And it's not rocket science. I do appreciate that you're in a position right now where you're thinking, oh, this sounds fantastic, David. I got really excited about that. But how do I go about it? Now, you can speak to me about it. Come speak to me about it. I've got service fees and what have you not. You may have an existing coach. You may want to have a crack and do this by yourself. Whatever. But if you're a coach, you deserve to have a really decent income. And I think the national average in the US is about 70,000 a year, right? And people for 70,000 a year are typically working a 50-hour week. So their office hours might look 40 hours, but then they've got travelling time every day and all that sort of stuff that you start to pile on top. It starts to look like 50 hours. You get paid for 40. You end up working 50, 55, 60, That's the way of the world. But here you've got a fantastic opportunity of going out there and making a decent salary. So please, think about my model. I'll just say it again for you. I'm just going to slow it down before we move into the next stage, okay, of this little video thing that I'm doing for you. 250 conversations throughout the year. It's only one a day. It's not a lot. And 25 of them are going to say, yeah, 10k. I pay you 6 months. They're going to say, yeah, I've been in this relationship for 10, 12 years. I really do think it's going to take at least 6 months. Let's see what we can do. Give them the power. Right, okay, we're going to go to the second video. Hey, so you can see I'm indoors now, taking my coat off. I'm in one of my living rooms. Angie's actually stopped here a couple of years ago. We had a great time, didn't we, Angie? Anyway, glasses on, glasses off. Right, this is the second part of the 3 parts that I'm squeezing in together for you. And this is about a very special offer. Sadly, it's only limited, but it's really, really important. And we don't even have a price on it yet because Angie is still putting things together. If you don't know, Angie is a homesteader. And currently, she has internet all the time, but where she's living, she only has, should we call it, sketchy internet, and she gets the best internet when she is doing, she does some animal sitting in her part-time because she loves dogs. So she can do coaching from her phone and stuff like that. She does it from an audio point of view. Anyway, I digress. So she needs to put a few things together. What Angie is considering, you've probably seen some of her offers, right? In terms of that, you can have some airtime inside the group. So, for example, you can have 5 shows of your own a month, and it's $500 a month, right? And there's other packages on top of that. What Angie's looking for right now is to set up a daily show. Now, there are 27,000 people in this group, and you know that the more you are seen and the more that you're seen to be an expert as well, then the more likely the chances are that you're going to get people contacting you and booking you out for your coaching services. And what Angie wants to offer is something unique, where you are an expert panelist on her daily show. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to turn up daily. We don't imagine that you can turn up daily. She's looking for herself and 5 panelists for her 1-hour show. Now, we understand that 5 panelists can't always turn up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because you've got things on in your life. So what we're looking at doing is having a pool of 10 panelists. Now, what you will be is featured in this group super heavily, so people know who you are, what you do. The program will go out the same day, the same time every day, and if people want to watch it the following day, great. Angie will be creating every day. We'll have a different theme, so whoever is in the group panel, or the stable, as that we're going to call it, because we're going to have 10 people, right, in the stable, and 5 of you would be on a show at a time. You will understand what the program is for the whole month, and you've got to say, Angie, I'd like to be on that one, 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 that one. The minimum is that you'll be able to be on 12 throughout the month. But of course, not everybody can make 5 days a week and stuff like that. So if you can, you could even be on even more than 12, which is great, but we can't guarantee that. So we're guaranteeing at least 12 appearances a month, which is great. And on top of that, you will also have your own 5 shows a month to have them on the dates and times that you want. So you might want to have all 5 shows in one day to have like a takeover of the group, if you will. You might want to have 5 shows in 1 week. So let's say week 2 of the month, and you do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or you might want to have 1 a week, something like that. Okay. This is absolutely phenomenal in terms of what Angie's doing and what you are going to give in terms of being able to get out there and help people, but what you are going to get back. Now, currently you've got an audience here of 27,000 and growing. Some days a few people leave, as they do. Not everybody needs to stay, and more people come in. The group has grown to 27,000 over the last 3 or 4 years, and you've seen how good content is in here, and you've seen the quality of the people that are coming in. That needs you. So the right thing to do is to make sure that you are seen regularly, so that people can build trust in you. That kind of makes sense. Now, I appreciate that what Angie's offer is not going to be for everybody, but here is the offer. You will be a group expert panelist, and you'll be on at least 12 of Angie's daily shows in a month. Okay? You will also have the opportunity to have 5 of your own shows. Now, if you want to invite your own panelists on or what have you not, or just do it by yourself, entirely up to you. It's not an issue, okay? So you get that on top as well. Now, I want to help you as well. So I'm also going to offer 2 things. Everybody that does this will also have 1 hour of my time a month for business coaching. And the panelists will also be in a very special private group, a little WhatsApp group for business, where you can ask me any questions that you want. Now, at the moment, Angie's in the stage of implementation to work out how she can put this together. So she is only looking for expressions of interest, and she cannot give you a fixed fee of what it's going to be. But it's likely to be somewhere between $2,500 and $3,500, and that's for 3 months. That's not, you've got to pay each month. That will be for the whole 90 days. So just to rewind and just break it down, what would you get? This is a daily show, and people will be aware of the daily show in the group. It will be highly advertised. It will be regular, so people will know to tune in, and then they can watch it on catch up if they want to. And there'll be a different theme of the day. And we're looking for a stable of 10 people. And out of that 10, 5 of you will be on a panel. And you'll do at least 10 panels a month. Plus, you can have 5 of your own shows a month. Plus, you'll have an hour of my time, if you want to take that up in terms of business coaching. Plus, we'll have our own little group, WhatsApp group or something like that, just between us, so that I can help you on your business. All we're looking for right now are expressions of interest. We don't have a fee fixed. We're going to be looking at somewhere between 2,500 and 3,500, and that is for 90 days. It is not a monthly fee. Right, so that's her special offer. The next thing we're going to do right now is we're going to nip into video 3, where we are going to be talking about what you're doing, this presentation. Enjoy it. Thank you so much for being a part of Angie's journey, and I really hope that you have a great time. And thank you very much for supporting Angie in the way that you do. Stay awesome. I need to press stop record, David. Stop record. So let's get into the section of how to get the best out of Angie's divorce group. Now, the group has been running for 3-4 years now. That's when we decided to set it up. We've got about 27,000 people in there. A few people will drop out every month as they progress with their personal journey, and more people are joining. Angie is also, as you're probably aware already, collecting emails from email addresses from the people in the group who do want to be contacted by coaches like yourself. So the purpose of this is we want to help you help more people and make a great income. This is what it's about. So before I can get into that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. And there is a reason for that, which I'll come on to in a second. So I am Angie's coach and have been for 3-4 years. Feels like 30, doesn't it, Angie? And right, well, I kind of lost myself then. I've always been involved in sales and marketing for many, many years. Actually started out when I was 8 years old. But crucially, I've been online since 2007. I have hosted many workshops online and offline, run my own conferences, I've spoken around the world as far as, bear in mind I'm English and I live in France, so as far as Australia, and I've also been over to Nashville. I've hosted my own conferences with over 200 people there. I've hosted my own international retreats, the most recently in South Africa, which was last month in February. So I know a thing or two about presentations and being able to create relationships and tying people into us, you know. This is what it's all about. Relationships, by the way. If any of you are thinking about this is about adding value, no, you're wrong. If you think it's about selling, no, you're wrong. It's not. And I'll come on to both of those in a wee while. So I have sold from presentations. I have had lots of people come to me from presentations. And, you know, when you look at Angie, who's been with me for 3-4 years, that's probably a really good testament to it. So what I've got to share with you as well goes against the grain of business books and what all the marketing gurus are seemingly telling you out there. They want to kind of funnel you into a certain type of thinking because it serves them. But if you think about it, coaching is really a very personal experience where you are the facilitator. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to help the client understand where they are right now and to help them create a path to where they want to go, their transformation. And we can't do that by getting them to push buttons and jump through hoops and what have you not. So let me share a lot more with you on how you can make a cool presentation, and perhaps it's not what you expect. So my first question I'm going to ask you today is, so who are you and why should I care? And that is what you think every single time you are pitched with something. You could be driving down the road and you can see a billboard. It could be a jingle, an advert on the radio, the television, the internet. It could be somebody that sees you in the street. It could be a webinar like this, you know. We always think, so who are you and why should I care? And what we're trying to do is to work out whether we should listen to that person or not. And of course, that person also needs to demonstrate their value to you, not just in the words that they say, but perhaps in some of their achievements. And can you see what I did there? I mean, a few moments ago, I'll just go back to the slide about David Poole, and I've told you about some of the presentations and some of the conferences I've done. I've kind of skimmed over it because it's not a main thing for you. But, you know, who am I? I'm David Poole, and these are the reasons why you should care about listening for me. This is what you need to be doing in your presentations, right? So, what I want to do is I want to look at some of the problems that you face when delivering presentation and how we can overcome them. And they are perhaps not as obvious as you think, and we'll be looking at new ways to cure old problems. So problem number one, I've written down boredom. That's not your boredom, though. If you're getting bored in your own presentation, then you really do have a problem. But I'm talking about the boredom here of the person who's watching this. Now, you have to remember, this is on Facebook. Why do people go on Facebook? They go on there to be entertained. That is crucially important for you to remember. And when they go on Facebook or TikTok or what have you not, we get our phones out and we flick through it using this thumb if you're right-handed, or this finger if you're right-handed, obviously the opposite if you're left-handed. And as you scroll through, whether it's on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook Reels or what have you not, we are flicking through at a rate of knots. What it means is that when most people jump on social media, they are not actually settling in with a cup of tea, a cup of coffee or cocoa or whatever, and snuggling down to watch a TV program or a film. You know, if you're going to watch a film this evening with by yourself or with your children or with your spouse, you actually start to prepare yourself for it. You make sure that things are done beforehand, and then you've got things near you. So you might want a cushion, you might want a blanket, you might want a drink, you might want a few little nibbles and stuff like that, and you might want to put the kids in the right place, you might want the windows closed and the curtains shut. You prepare yourself to sit down in front of that program or that film. But we're not doing that when we're going on Facebook, okay? And so you do not have to do this for an hour. You really, really don't. And I know that we can often think, yeah, but my information is so valuable, I need to give it for an hour. Well, look, the problem that we also face is that we can drown people in how much information that we give. So please, if you actually want to only do a 10 or 15 minute presentation, that's cool. And actually, the vast majority of the experts, if you go and look at Gary Vaynerchuk, for example, he'll go and get paid $100,000 to $250,000 to go and do an hour's presentation. And actually, his presentation's only 10, 12 minutes long. And the rest of it is Q&A. Now, you might not get that because this is online and these people don't know you and they're not being invited to your specific event unless you invite them yourselves, okay? So please, think about their boredom. If you do it for an hour, people aren't going to stay around for an hour. They don't have that time to give up. And when they do have that time to give up, they prepare themselves for it, as I explained, by watching a film or watching a TV. So, in my opinion, it's best to keep a presentation short and do not drown them in information because they're going to forget it, I promise you. And just moving into problem 2 now, I'm going to talk about your true value. And we hear about your true value when we're talking about the price that we charge. But I'm going to present to you your true value in completely a different way. If you think that your presentation should be full of advice, I'm going to ask you to reconsider that. Why? Because they can get advice from anywhere. They can get it from Google, ChatGPT, YouTube, their next door neighbour, wherever. They can get advice anywhere. And you, I know that you've done this. You've given loads of advice out in your life, and it's not always been listened to. And lots of people have given you stacks and stacks of advice, and you've only taken a very, very small amount on board. So we have to remember that knowledge is free. Advice is not always the best thing to give. It really, really isn't, especially in this sort of scenario. So what I like to do is ask questions. Okay, so this is still number 2, problem 2, and this is where the magic happens when you start asking questions. Let me explain to you why. If you want to tell a story, a scenario of a certain situation so that somebody can comprehend something and that they can remember it, commit it to memory and perhaps start doing it, the right thing to do is not to say, go and do A, B, C, D, and E. It really isn't, because as soon as the presentation finishes, they'll forget about it. They really, really will. Now, when I used to do conferences, I used to get 200 plus to my conference. I used to say to people, I want you to do one thing. I want you to come with one business question that you want solving in your business. And your job today, when you come to my conference, is to get that question answered in the way that you need it being answered. So when you leave the conference, you will know what that answer is. I don't want you leaving the conference saying, oh, that was good, that was food for thought, because that's a waste of your time. Okay? And that's what I used to say to people when they used to come to my conferences and they used to pay money and come down to see me and drive from all over the country and outside of the world and all the rest of it. But in a situation like this, rather than just standing up there and giving advice and going, hey, you want to go and do A, B, C, and D, or 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, create a story, explain what the situation is, and then ask a question. Because when you ask that question, that's when they start to think for themselves. And that's where learning starts. It's not the advice that you give them, because the advice that you give them could just be like reading a book or even just a book in the library. There's loads of advice there, but they're not properly accessing it. People start to properly access advice when they think for themselves and start to take that piece of advice dressed up as a question and adapt it for themselves. Now, once they start doing that, that's when they remember you, and that's when they start to see true value in you. Because true value really occurs when the person has properly gained something from you. And how many times have you been in a conference and you've written down notes and what have you not, or you've been on a presentation and you've taken down loads of notes and da-da-da-da-da, or you might have even been to a comedy show, perhaps seen a comedian on television, and you've fallen over with laughter because of the jokes, and you try and remember the jokes, and as soon as you leave the auditorium or the television program stops, you actually forget the jokes, right? You forget all the cool fun stuff. But if a question has been asked where you are allowed to think about that question and apply it to yourselves, that gets committed to your memory. You start thinking about stuff, and that is when these prospect clients start thinking about you. Now, you don't hear this from your presentation gurus out there, because they're not interested in that. They're just looking at slickness and all the other stuff. It's literally because they haven't lived in the real world and they're just reading it from books, right? Or if they have been semi-successful, they really haven't thought about the psychology of people. And that's what we're doing, right? This is not about your ability to be able to stand up and talk, or turn on a computer screen and talk for half an hour and remember your lines and blah, 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 blah. It's not. It's about psychology. It's about helping your client remember. That's the most important thing. So I'd like you to think about some questions that you could ask these people. Okay, problem 3 is getting seen. Now, as you've seen already, or as you've heard from me already, getting seen is a problem. What you don't want to do is to come into Angie's group and just do this and leave. I mean, okay, you get a little bit of experience of doing some presentation, but little else. So the first thing that you can do is you can actually ask people to come and join you, which is cool. Hey, you know what? I'm going to be doing mine at 3 o'clock on Saturday, whatever. Can you be there? Now, if you've got some friends who are not in the group, ask them to join the group. Let them come. Tell other people about what you're going to be doing on the day within the group. Just say, hey, you know what? On Saturday at 3 o'clock, I'm going to be doing this. Does anybody want to come? Put a thumbs up. Super. Now, here's a really cool thing. In terms of getting seen, we want to try and bend the algorithm slightly in your favour. And so asking people questions where people feel that they can respond is a really cool thing to do, because that will obviously increase the engagement and therefore people can see it more. Not just within the group, but if you look at Facebook and you're on your standard newsfeed, when you're on your newsfeed, what do you see? You see your posts from your friends, you see posts from associates and colleagues and what have you not, you see adverts, and then you see little things come up from groups, like Angie's group, for example, or somebody else's group. Now, you want to try and bend the algorithm in your favour. So if you've got people responding to you on your live, it's more likely that's going to show up in other people's news feeds. Now, I don't have any metrics for it, but it is the case. So, in terms of questions that you should be asking, bear in mind that you're dealing with a potentially very difficult subject. I mean, it's about divorce, and there's a lot of emotion related to that. So if you ask a question that's quite personal, very personal, it's less likely that they are going to respond to it, because it doesn't feel right to them. But if you can ask them a question that's a yes or a no, hey, who wants to feel happy after their divorce? Put me a yes, put me a no. Hey, who felt sad within the first 7 days? Give me a yes, give me a no. My name is David, I'm from Cognac in France. Let me know where you're from. And they write down, I don't know, Missouri, Chicago, Florida, wherever. Those sort of questions will help and people can start to engage. So that'll help you get seen a little bit. But the real thing is, by getting seen, is being consistent in here in video. Don't worry about posts. Nobody's interested in posts. Video, connecting with people, which I've mentioned before about trust, and I'll probably mention it again later in here. So, as I've just said, this is a bit of a one hit with Angie. Do see it as a practice, but to get the clients that we need, they're not going to buy from you straight away. And, you know, I'll explain what your objective should be in a minute, but by being in Angie's group multiple times, that's going to help you. I'm not going to stay too much on this, but you know the importance of it. So people are asking me right now, David, what sort of lead magnet should I do? And they're talking about, should I have a PDF? Should I have an opt-in, a newsletter, a free video, or what have you not? Don't bother. Really, really don't bother. Now, lead magnets can work extremely effectively in certain industries and professions. But the profession that you're dealing with is the relationships profession. And I will tell you right now, you are the best lead magnet. If you want to have a lead magnet, and you should, it is you. Okay? So you say to people right at the very beginning, right at the top of the show, hey, my name is David. Today we're going to discuss this. Before we get into it, if you do want to contact me privately, this is how to do it. This is how to DM me, as an example, right? That should be your lead magnet. I'll give you half an hour free of my time. I'll give you 45 minutes free of my time. That is what you should be doing, because you are in a relationship business. Now, if anybody contacts me and says, hey, David, I know that you're a business coach for Angie, what are your rates? I don't declare my rates. Actually, I can't declare my rates. There's a reason why, because I don't know what you need, right? Everything is bespoke to you. Why? Because I'm a coach, consultant, mentor. You are the same. You're the same. And that translates the same as a lead magnet. If you create a lead magnet, what you're doing is you're creating a box of cornflakes and you're saying to everybody, hey, everybody, go and take this box of cornflakes. Well, what if they don't have breakfast? What if they don't like cornflakes? So all of a sudden, that lead magnet dissipates. You're reducing your impact. But if you say to people, look, if you've got an issue, if you've got some things that you need to discuss around this issue, best thing that you can do is actually pick the phone up, send me a direct message, and I'll happily have half an hour, 45 minutes with you, see what we can do. That is the best lead magnet, partly because they want to tell you their story and they want to personalise everything. As soon as you send the lead magnet out, it's not personalised, all right? And this is the same as well. I'll put like the problem 5, the BS of websites. Look, I've got websites. I've got 4. I love them. I like playing with them. I never send anybody to them. I really, really don't. Why? Because it's prescribed, just like a lead magnet. We don't want that, and neither do your clients. They want you. They want a piece of. They want a piece of your ass. They want to speak with you. So let them. Don't send them to a website. They've given you the privilege of watching you speak on for 10, 20 minutes, maybe even an hour. Don't send them to a website to find out more. Get them to contact you. Trust. Look the best you can. Now, you can't really see me because I'm a bit cold today, but I'm trying to look professional, right? All right, I'm in my garden right now and it's not too warm, and that's why I've got this on. But I'll see what I can show you, right? Hey, ta-da! Not that I was expecting to flash. But do I look fit for the job? Yes. Am I turning up in an old t-shirt? No. Is my hair done? Yes. I've got sunglasses on, I didn't realise that. People are buying a transformation, right? They want you to help them go from A to B, but they're placing trust in you. So you've got to look the part. So please consider what you're wearing. For the ladies, go and look at somebody like Elena Cardone. Now, I'm not saying go and prescribe to her type of business. You might not like it. I'm just saying go and look at her. She looks great. She really does. Now, okay, it does. What's the word I was looking for? She is an exceptionally good-looking woman. It's not about how good looking she is. Look at what she wears. Because she could be an exceptionally good looking woman, but looking something pretty dowdy or what have you not. No, look good, look sharp. Consider your background as well. Now, we are in March. The trees are not yet in bloom, as you can see. But my background's nice. I like to entertain with my background, as you saw earlier on one of the other videos. But the thing is this. If you don't have a decent background, blur it out. That's the thing. That's what I want to say. Blur it out. Don't let anybody be able to create a bias about you. Blur it out. And think about the sound around you as well. So today, my friend, Neil won't see this, he's failed an interview. The reason why he's failed an interview is because the sound quality wasn't great. And he knew how bad the sound quality was going to be, because he said to me, "Oh, David, I'm having issues with my iPad and the sound quality." And I said, "Don't go on your iPad then," because he was doing a Teams interview. And he doesn't know he's failed the interview yet, but the interview was only for half an hour long, which tells me he's not got the job, right? So, sound is important, as is the visual. Look the part, sound the part. Problem 7, focusing your efforts. Don't spray and pray. Now, I can talk about several areas here. One of the things that we can do when we have creator talk is that we can stick this talk everywhere. TikTok, YouTube, and what have you not. What we need to do is we need to focus in on one area. This place is a fantastic area. Why? Because they are your target audience and they are literally asking for help. Okay? What do I mean by don't piss in the wind? Excuse me, bit of a bad word there. But don't talk about the whole range of things that can affect your clients and how you solve them. Concentrate on one or two things. Okay? Just one or two things. That's all you need to concentrate on. So when I go and speak to my clients, or when I go and speak to the world, one of the things I talk about is the happiness of what you can do from your work, right? So when it comes to divorce, there are a whole plethora of things that you can talk about. Just speak about one or two, okay? Concentrate on that message and concentrate in the same group of people. You've got a gift here, right? It's absolutely unique. There's no other divorce group out there that does what Angie's group allows you to do. That's this. Right, I think I've come to the end of this presentation. Go and enjoy yourself. Sound good, look good. It doesn't have to be an hour long. Think about the tonality. I haven't really mentioned that in here. Think about the tonality. You don't need a PowerPoint presentation. I'm using one here. I didn't use one earlier. Okay, you don't need that. Keep things simple. The more you complicate things, and the more moving parts that you've got, the more likely things have got to break down. Enjoy yourself. You have got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Engage these people. Entertain these people. Be honest. Ask them, not just good questions. Ask them great questions, right? If you've got some homework to do, it's this. Think about what you're going to be talking about. And then write a little description, because you need a description when you go Facebook Live, because if they just see you like this, on the picture, they don't know what it means. In your description, I want you to write about how they're going to benefit from your presentation. And you can even just write it in layman's terms if you want to. If you watch this video, I'm going to help you with X, Y, and Z. Or in this video, I'm going to help you with X, Y, and Z. And if you only do a short video, let's say it's only 12 minutes long. So you do the video first and then, on the Facebook Live, and then you can go back and actually edit the text, can't you? You can just say, hey, this is just a 12-minute video about X, Y, and Z. It's brilliant. They know exactly what it is. Get it out there. Get doing it. Go and have fun. Go and have a lot of fun with it. One final thing. Please do not expect clients from this one video. I have to be absolutely honest with you. You could get a few inquiries, don't get me wrong, but if you're expecting, yay, I'm going to go and get a client from this, or 10 clients, or whatever, people need to get to know you. And this is a gift from Angie. It's your first stepping stone. Come in and enjoy it. If you're interested in her of the products, services, go and have a chat to her with it. I would just like to say that on behalf of Angie and myself, thank you very much for the time that you're investing into Angie, into this group, into this wonderful bunch of people who all need you. Your time and effort is needed. You are part of a contribution that, when all the small parts come together, it just explodes. Without you talking in here, we will not be elevating and shining the light that these ladies are looking for. Go and have fun. Go and be awesome.